Okay, so we're diving into a story that really hinges on one single devastating lie. It's a lie told to protect family honor, but it ends up destroying an innocent life and setting off a long, painful journey toward atonement. This is the story of Ranjish. It's a question that sits at the very heart of this story. For the family we're about to meet, the answer? Well, it leads to the complete and utter destruction of an innocent life. Let's see how it all kicks off. All right, so picture this. The scene is set at the super opulent Sultan mansion. The celebration is in full swing, but behind the scenes, a huge crisis is unfolding. The bride, Manor, has just vanished. And as panic erupts, you'd think the family's first instinct would be to find her, right? Nope. It's to find someone to blame. Section 1. Qurbani ka nikah, or a sacrificial marriage. So, to contain the scandal, the family elders decide they don't need a search party. What they need is a scapegoat. And that scapegoat is about to be forced into a sacrificial marriage. And wow, this really lays out just how fast a life can be completely shattered. It all starts with the bride running away. But instead of, dealing with the actual problem, the family finds an easy target, a 17-year-old orphan named Hadia. She has no one to defend her, which makes her the perfect scapegoat. This is it. This is the lie that seals her fate. It's a moment of pure, raw self-preservation. The bride's younger sister, Nita, she knows exactly what happened. But to save her own skin, she points the finger at the one person in the whole house with zero power to fight back, Hadia. And the groom Azir Sultan, he just absolutely explodes. He's blinded by rage, he's been publicly humiliated, and he doesn't even stop for a second to question the accusation. In his mind, Hadia isn't even a person anymore. She's the living, breathing symbol of his dishonor. And his response? It's this absolutely terrifying threat. Okay, and this is the real turning point. To stop the guests from finding out the truth, the family patriarch makes a shocking decree. The wedding is not being canceled. Oh no. Instead, they're just going to replace the bride. Hadia is going to be forced to marry the man who, just moments ago, threatened to kill her. You can just imagine her begging, right? But her pleas, they mean nothing. In this world, the family's reputation is everything. So she's dragged away, forced into the runaway bride's dress, and her entire future is just sacrificed in a matter of minutes. It's heartbreaking. Section 2, Bigunah ki saza, or the punishment of the innocent. Now, you might think the wedding itself was the worst part, but as we're about to see, that horror, it wasn't the end of Hadia's ordeal. It was only the beginning of her punishment. This slide just perfectly captures the two completely different realities crashing into each other. On one side, you have Hadia's truth. She's a blameless victim trapped in an absolute nightmare. But on the other side is Azir's perception. He sees her as a criminal, a conspirator, an object for his revenge. To him, she is not his wife, she is his prisoner. Period. And on their wedding night, he makes his intentions chillingly clear. This is not a marriage. It's a cold, calculated campaign of revenge against a girl he's already judged and condemned without a single shred of proof. So for a whole month, this is her life. She endures his cruelty and total silence, while Azir is just stewing in his own rage, completely and utterly convinced of her guilt. He has absolutely no reason to question the lie until fate decides to step in. And then, just like that, fate intervenes. Azir comes home early one day, he's sick with a fever, and as he's walking down the hall toward his room, he passes his sister-in-law Nita's room. The door's a little bit open, and he hears her on the phone, laughing. And boom. Just like that, the entire lie unravels. In one single, overheard sentence, Azir learns the truth. The woman he's been systematically torturing for a month is innocent. The entire foundation of his rage, the justification for all his cruelty, it just completely shatters. Section 3, Insaf or Pachtava, Justice and Regret. You can imagine, this revelation ignites a whole new kind of fire in Azir. His rage is now redirected, and it's followed by this crushing, overwhelming wave of regret for what he's done. So, completely overcome with fury, Azir confronts Nita and he forces the real story out of her. And then,
he vanishes. For 3 whole days, he is just gone on this single-minded hunt to find the original bride, Mahnur, and drag her back to face the music.
So he finds her, and he drags her back home. But Mahnur, she shows zero remorse. She stands there, totally defiant, basically confirming she ran away because she couldn't stand him and the forced marriage. She throws his own ego and his precious honor right back in his face. So, in the middle of all this chaos, Mahnur's return, the shouting, Azer's eyes land on Hadia, who's been standing silently in a doorway, just watching it all. And in that one moment, everything shifts. He finally sees her. Not the criminal, but the quiet, terrified girl who has taken the punishment for a crime she had nothing to do with. And the change in him, it isn't loud or dramatic. It's quiet. That night, he goes into their room and just tells her, "You sleep on the bed tonight, I'll be in the study." It's such a simple gesture, but it's the very first crack in that wall of cruelty. It's the true beginning of his atonement. Section 4, Muhabbat ka inam, the reward of love. That one small act of remorse starts to widen into a real path of redemption, and it changes absolutely everything for both Azir and Hadia. Flash forward 6 months, and we see a completely changed man. Azir knows he can't just erase what he did. There's no way. But he is now dead set on rebuilding the future he stole from Hadia. He makes her this promise, acknowledging not only his love, but the immense, immense debt he owes her. And he doesn't just say it, he follows through. He knows her big dream was always to get an education, to escape the confines of that mansion. So what does he do? He brings that dream back to life. He personally enrolls her in one of the best colleges in the city and promises to support her, no matter what the rest of the family says. And this really brings us to the core moral of the story, right? You've got these 2 different paths. On one side, Mahnur's rebellion. She chased freedom, but ultimately she ended up a prisoner of her own family's anger. And on the other path, you have Hadia's patience. She endured something unimaginable, and in the end, she found her freedom and her dreams restored by the very same man who once took them away. So, in the end, Azir works tirelessly to make things right, and somehow Hadia finds a way to forgive. But the story really leaves us with this big, lingering question, doesn't it? Can love and atonement, can they truly erase the memory of such profound cruelty? It's definitely something to think about.